Yeah, hi.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm well, and how are you?
I'm great. Firstly, thank you for accepting my invitation and accepting to be on my show.
Thank you for inviting.
So, I've gone through your profile and I came to know that you are an author and you published some books. And I want to tell about the work that you do to my audience and to the world who is watching and listening to this.
Thank you. Um, my name is Amukelani Makhuvela. I'm an author of two books. I'm from South Africa. I write my books full time, and I've started to publish 2 years ago. I have published only two books for now because it's only now that the government has been helping me to publish the books. And I'm an award winner of both the books. The other one is Within the Journey, which is with this cover. This is Within the Journey. It was my first book that was published in 2018. And this one is the one that was published last year, 2020. So both of them won the award in Africa. And then it has actually won the African narrative, the best African narrative. And then this one has won the best empowerment, women empowerment. I've wrote these two books. The first one through the experience that I had with the people around me, with women in Africa, especially in South Africa, where women are raped, where women are beaten up, where women are abused emotionally, where they are paid lower salaries, where else they are working the same jobs as men. And the other one, where I spoke about, is about the person that the lady married in a book, and then she was abused, got divorced, but she was sold again by her family because they wanted more money and they wanted the status in a society. So this first book, Empowerment, it really, really went wild in South Africa because it was talking about the things that are happening, the cases that are happening. It also shows that some cases are not solved well in South Africa when it comes to police, especially when it comes to women complaining. So this book, it was one of the best. It was my first book. Then the second one, it's a book that entails short stories, South African short stories, or Africa as a whole, or you can actually even say maybe across the globe, because that's when now we talk about different kind of stories. So we have the stories that talks about traditions, and some of them are talking about horror, and others are talking about romantic sides of life and how to deal with your emotions on that, because as Africans it becomes difficult to be a woman, because when you express yourself, it becomes a problem on sexually side. So these books talk about that. It gives the stories of women who hide themselves because of the past that they went through sexually, and they never say into their present relationship, which caused a lot of problems. It caused divorces. It caused children being separated from the parents. It also has stories about homophobians, people who are gays and hiding themselves, get married, but they know inside that they're on the other side of the gender. But because we are Africans and it becomes difficult to talk about sex, this book bring the stories that actually tells it all on how it happens and how it ends, and now how we are actually changing as South Africans to become that better, like in other parts of the world. So the book talks about that, but it encourages, but it's the true stories in a fiction way. So I write fiction with the true stories so that the names and the backgrounds of the people are not mentioned. So some of them are the things that I experience myself, and others are the ones that I see happening around the other women around South Africa and Africa as a whole. It also talks about how our tradition suppress us. We are unable to do anything, especially when you're poor and in a middle class. But the richer stays richer and stays comfortable without having any problems in society.
So it's amazing that you took two different types of genres. One is about women empowerment, which means the woman should be in everywhere and should work and should be respected. So that's an amazing point that you took. And other point is a collection of stories.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you have published it and you already said you got two awards for this, so that is amazing. So what is the response that you are getting for the books that you have published at the same time? When did you publish these two books?
Can you repeat the question, please?
When did you publish these two books and what is the response that you are getting?
The first one, Within the Journey, it was published in 2018. So this was the first one I published. And then the other one, I published it in 2020 in October, which was last year. So in both of them, I've got an awards for the both of them. So the other one, this one is the best African narratives. And then this one is the best empowerment. And both of them have been purchased by our library, our national libraries, and then in other provinces, which you may call the states in South Africa. And they've also honored me with that to take a step and stand up for women and fight for women and be able to tell the real stories, not the stories that they are hidden somewhere, but the stories that are there and people are hiding them. So I take them out and put them like that. So our government has actually given me that honor, and the Africans Award was one of the biggest honors. And then for them to purchase my books as a country, it means a lot. So I would really wish one day it goes bigger, where they take them to schools under the part of social or humanities. I'll be happy if it's taken there to different kind of libraries.
So is there any particular situations that made you to write the book about women?
Yes, there is a situation. My mother, my aunties, people around me, the things that were happening were too much. You grow up seeing women being beaten up by their husbands, and there's no one who says anything. It seems as it's a good thing and it's a norm. It should happen. If you're a man, you need to cheat on your wife, you need to beat her up, you need to be scared of by your children. So I have seen that growing up. And I knew from a young age that I really wanted to write, because I'll always write stories. I'll always imagine stories and start writing. But I didn't want to start my first book by writing what I imagined. I wanted to take out what society is going through here in South Africa. I wanted to make sure that their voices are heard through me, because it's very difficult to find old people but they can't talk. Most women here are afraid of getting married because they are afraid of abuse, and they're afraid that when they're in there, they may not be able to come out. And then they're afraid to go around at night because of rapes. Nobody trusts anyone. So I've seen uncles of other people raping their sisters' daughters. I've seen the neighbors doing the same thing. So it becomes a problem. So I wanted to come with all these stories and tell it out in the world, to say we are women, but we are women of value. We are supposed to be loved like the way the princesses and queens we are. So we men in South Africa and Africa as a whole, or around the globe, has to start loving women and respecting us, because we are the backbone of families. We are the backbones of countries. We are the one who stands and then builds families and households.
So this story is more about the women in South Africa.
Not only in South Africa, across the globe, but the stories I was mentioning because of what I saw in South Africa. So wherever I traveled, few people will also experience such things. So I believe that other countries, they may have a better way of living, But here in South Africa, that's what was happening. With regard to news and other books that I read, I realized that it's not only us who are experiencing this. So it can go on anywhere in the globe. It can go across South Africa, and then other women read it and feel comforted, because at the end of each story, there is that comfort of the women who have come out of it. We have the late Winnie Madikizela Mandela. I'm sure a lot of people knows her. She was the late Madiba Mandela's wife, who fought for women in South Africa. So there's some stories that comfort women into the book, because I always show an example with her and other great women who have fought. Charlotte Matreke, who have actually fought for this country as well, for women's rights. So being the month of women in South Africa, it's actually one of the best books that people are actually listening on my audio, because I have an audio book on it. And then others are reading, and then they are placing orders because they want that comfort. It's not only the story, it's the story with comfort.
So after reading this book of yours about women, so what is the point that people are going to learn from it?
As I said previously, a lot of people are going to learn how to fight for themselves, not to keep quiet, how to come out and talk of their problems, not minding the status of their culture, or in our own homes, to be taken seriously. People have to talk. If you're raped, you need to come out with it and say, I've been raped, and this is what happened, and you need to fight the case up until the end. And if you have been beaten and abused by your husband, you need to fight harder to make sure that everybody else knows about this, because we have lost lives. People have died because of being beaten in a household, and nobody talks about it. It's only last year that our government have started to talk about women being abused on social media. Nobody was talking about it. So this book will help you to come forward and talk about your abusers and talk about how to fight back. So there is some remedies and recommendation on a book on how other women have actually fought their fight and come as the winners in this.
So coming to the second one, you said it is a collection of stories. So what are those collections, and what what are the points that you have collected and trying to tell to the world through your book?
Okay. The second one is a collection of stories, because I can say in our country or Africa as a whole, there are many people who come and write our stories, but they don't know what our stories are. So I decided into taking into this journey to write our own stories the best way I know how. Most of our stories are not told in a right way, or some of the things are hidden. But I decided to take out everything that has been hidden, things that people are afraid to talk about, and things that people are excited to talk about, but they're never out there in the world. So I decided to collect all the stories. What I'm talking about is, as I said, about gays and lesbians. People don't talk about them. It might be in those best economical cities where people talk about that, but in villages and in other provinces, people don't talk about that. They are afraid to come out. So this book also touches base on that. People don't want to talk about how poor they are and how they're struggling and how they want help from other people, because we need to put out there in the social media that we are good, we are okay, and then people get into debt. So there are many stories that talks about that. There are people whom, when they're sleeping, they are able to dream about things or see things physically, but they can't actually talk about them, because if they do talk about them, they are seen as witchcrafts. So they don't want to be called witches. So I talk about those stories that it is possible for one to see things that are in an extraordinary world, which is not our world, in a spiritual world, is possible. And people should not be afraid to talk about them because that's who they are. You know, other people are afraid to talk about when they wake up, they felt they might have slept with something and they don't know what it is, and nobody talks about it. If they end up being pregnant and the doctors don't see anything in their stomach and so on, people don't talk about it. They will hide it. So in this book, I have actually told everything. It's a tell-all book. It's actually having all the stories that people don't want to talk about it. Husbands raping their own daughters. People don't want to talk about it. But I've put everything into this book so that people can be able to know that these things happen. And we need to talk. It's okay to talk about it. There's nothing wrong with talking about it. It's going to help you not to have depression because a lot of people die with depression here and they don't talk. You just see a person being sick, but people don't want to talk. So it actually helps strengthen your mental state of mind and also help you to overcome it instead of overcoming it with 6 feet under.
So what are your coming books? You have already published 2 books, and what are the books that are going to come?
Okay, I've got 2 upcoming books. The other one, because I like empowering. At the same time, I like being lost in my own world and imagine fiction and write and become excited. So the first one that's going to be coming up in November is going to be which shoe to wear. That means it talks about success. Success doesn't have only one shoe that you need to wear. That means it doesn't have only one recipe. You know, you can have different way of becoming successful in life. It can be that your success is about within you. You just want peace and you're successful. And others may say, I just want to be a millionaire. So which shoe to wear for success is the title of the book that is going to be coming in November. And the other one that is coming is Halfway Through the Walls. It's also horror and suspense and thriller in one. So it's going to be about the person who was born from the Queen of Sense, and she didn't know. Then while she's giving birth, and then the children are also having the same problem of having an extraordinary powers that they don't know where they're coming from. Up until the 6th generation, where now this lady will feel that I'm a queen of the sand, but I feel I need a man from the world. That's where everything became bad. And then she dated the man in the spirit world, then later on become visible to the man. But it became a problem when an accident happened. So I'll leave it there. If people want to know more, they should definitely purchase the book.
It's amazing that you're going completely different one by one. You know, one book is not same when compared to other one. It's where these thoughts are coming from.
I think I was born a writer. As I said, it started from when I was very young. So anything I see becomes a story. Anything I see, if I see you now, I have a story already about you, whether you tell me a story or not. I just like writing. I like having my thoughts going around. It's more like I live in a world of different worlds. You know, in a day I can live 7 kind of worlds. I can be in India and then having thoughts about India, and then being in Africa and having thoughts about Africa. And whatever I look at, I start writing.
I really like the third one that you're going to release, which is going to come in November. The success, you know, there is no a single way to get it, or the success in somebody's perspective is different, and success in your perspective is different. Like you're telling
Yeah.
that what you do, and if it is giving you happiness, that is success for you. That is what your motto is.
Yeah.
That is
This is
awesome.
this is exactly what I want people to know, that success is not only about living a posh. Um, Many people have different kind of success. You know, many people know what they want to be. You know, other people would like to be writers, whom are preferred as the poorest. you know, and others would like to be CEOs, but somebody may just want to be a mother and stay at home and be a housewife, and they're fulfilled and feel successful out of that. So our goals are different. We may be from the same place, we may have the same mother, but our goals are different. How we want our goals to be, it's up to us. And success differs from one person to another.
I think the first two books of yours are only for adult, and the success book is for every age group. Is that right?
Yes.
Because the first one contains a story of women empowerment. You know, only the above 18 plus can above 18 can understand it, and the second one is completely like above the children age people can understand it. I mean, can need to know about it. And the third one is very important. Like, what is success? Success even a child can understand, and even the 60-year-old guy can connect with that, I think.
Yeah, the first one is from the age you are supposed to read it. It's the people from the age of 16, because people get confused when they're going to varsity. And, you know, they are being raped then. It's when now things are starting to open up, and how they need to fight back. They need to learn from there the strength to fight back. You don't need to keep quiet. And when you're 40, it's when now you're talking about I was raped 10 years ago. You need to learn from there to say, maybe from 16, yeah, because kids are not growing too fast here in South Africa. So from 16, it's where they're starting to be open-minded and start to read more into the normal books than the school books. And then the second one, it's from, because it's got a sexual stories. So it's also starting from 18 years up to infinite. You know, it can be 60 years, you can still read it and enjoy it. And yeah, so from 18 years, the second one. Basket of Grief is the second one. And then Within the Journey is the first one that people have to read from 16 years, maybe up to 34, but depending on you, on how you actually relate to my stories.
Awesome. So if you send me all your book links and the web links where people can buy it, I'll put in the description of this video. People who find our video on YouTube can find your links and can buy and can see what you said in the book.
Okay, the Basket of Griefs is found in Amazon.com and also Kindle. So it's in that platform. And if they are here in South Africa, they can also find it in takealot.com. It's also a store in here. And we also have a store here closer to us, which is Conshan store, that they sell books. So it's also there. But across the globe, it will be best for them to use Amazon.com and also use the Kindle. And the other one is Read. Yeah, I think it's something like that, but it's in Kindle and Amazon. And maybe they may just get me in my Instagram page.
Yeah. You send all the links, web links to me. I will put in the description. They can directly click on it and they can directly get your books. So at last, have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube, and what do you say about it?
Yes, I've seen your videos and they're really amazing. You're actually doing a great job. We actually need more people like you know, who takes concerns about authors. You know, we don't have anyone who takes care of us while we're busy traveling the world in our own mind. But you come across and you came and say you want to help and do the interview. So I really like that. I really say, may God help you to do more. May He blesses you to do more for other people like myself who needs that platform to go out there, you know. So really thank you. And don't forget, I'm going to be making sure that I take you to my South African government. so so they can see what a great work you're doing in here.
That is a big thing for me, and it's my pleasure you having on my show and telling about your books, and it's really thought provoking. Women empowerment, success, and 10 different stories. Definitely, you are trying to not only just tell them what the stories are. You're also making people to think, and it will be very beneficial for them in developing their personality or getting the success in their lives.
Yeah. And thank you for having me.
So at last, what do you say? You write books about books by taking different topics. Like you said, you can write a story by seeing me. Like you can write a story about seeing anything that you said. So you already have seen my videos on my YouTube channel. Me talking with different country people who are into different professions and who are into uh, uh, different different religions. Like you will see like every all different people. So what do you think that I'm doing, and what do you think that is going to be useful for the people who watches it, and what it is going to be useful for me, and is this beneficiary for having a positive effect on this planet?
Yes, it's actually beneficial to have people like you. How I wish you could go big in this platform because we need you. We need you to be sending the messages across the globe. I could not be able to do it. People could not know my books, but after you post this video, everyone else will know about the books and they will show interest and they would like to buy. So I'm so happy. And what you're doing, I really hope the Indian government can see what they have in their people. That's a very great courage for you to contact someone you don't know and you ask them to come and have an interview with you. So that's great. That's great. And it will help a lot of people. I'm glad you're not only doing it for authors and you are also doing it for other people because we need more of you. We need more people like you to come and change the world, to get my true stories of what I thought when I was writing the book, and what I'm thinking for the future. How am I going to help the other people? I liked that a lot because it shows that you want to see the world change. And I really, really like that.
Your observation means a lot to me. The way you're looking at the work that I'm doing, it gives a lot of energy. So I really met a great person today because you're creating some effect which is very important for women. Every woman should be respected, and they have every right like men to do whatever they want, and they have to be treated uh, other genders, and it's an amazing concept. I'm sure it is going to reach a lot of people in the world. So I'm sure I will, and the success one also, because success, everybody wants success, everybody works for success, everybody on this planet wants to get success. So you writing, taking that topic and making a story out of it, and trying to explain it in your own style, and trying to send it to the world, and it's a great topic. So I'm sure in coming days people will expect great topics, books with great topics, and the second one is also like 10 different stories you're trying to tell in a single book, and it's one is different from other, like same work that I'm doing, one person is different from other, like you are doing the same. So that's a you have that diverse mindset. So it's amazing, and I will expect more books from you once you publish your the third book of yours in November. Give me interview again, and I will tell to my audience again.
Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me your valuable time and spending your valuable words here. So can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yes, you can. You can put. Okay.
And also, can I put this video and audio clip on my social media, internet, podcast, website, everywhere with your permission?
Yes, I permit you to do so.
Yeah. Thank you very much, and keep doing what you love.
Thank you.
Bye.